If you can't be right, yeah, I do the same thing. I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Begin with me, Alifia Diva. Our presentation about the underworld world. The underworld. Dr. Ali Jazairi, Associate Professor of Clinical Psychology at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, Los Angeles campus, believe there are clear and present dangers that must be addressed. I definitely believe that social media has a significant impact on our lives. The world we see on Facebook and other social media platforms is not the real world; it's a human creation. Jazairi explains. Among the other dangers that Facebook may pose in our lives, such as a lack of privacy, is the habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others. When people are happy, they tend to post a lot of happy things. When I'm unhappy, however, I will consciously or unconsciously compare myself to others. As a result, I create a world that isn't real because I imagine that everyone in that world is happy except for me. While each social media site has its own personality and purpose, the wildly popular Facebook and its estimated 1 billion active monthly user has gained the most attention from psychologists for the potential to distort an individual's sense of self and the sense of other people. That the computer is not substitute for a real human being. Conscious Khalid, Dr. Eliezer Eusebio, an assistant professor in the Department of School Psychology at TCSPP Chicago campus, has been fascinated with the concept of virtual worlds and on social media since the early chat room of the 1990s. Something I like to talk about in psychotherapy are the various dimensions of consciousness, he says. It can get really psychoanalytical if you're going to look at what kind of behavior people are putting out there. I have been studying Jungian analysis, and I do find it interesting, especially when you look at personality types. Whether your inner nature tends towards paranoia, narcissism, manic depressive, or even melodramatic behaviors, Eusebio says these things unconsciously manifest themselves, rather publicly and in an online setting. The professional fiber. John Fowler received an MA in psychology at TCSPP Chicago campus in 2009 and for several years made his business teaching other professionals how to use social media to advance their careers. 3 years have passed since he published his book, Graduate to LinkedIn, Jumpstart Your Career Support Network Now, and he says social media of today is already vastly different. Professionally, you say that you want to brand yourself, but you can sometimes get so lost in branding yourself the way you want to be perceived. That what you present online isn't who you really are. When potential employers meet you in person, they want you to be a consistent, cautious Fowler, who now works at Deloitte Consulting and sometimes uses his social media background to help clients leverage their brands. However, in a virtual world where everyone exaggerates and reality is always slightly distorted, the temptation to lie or stretch the truth is stronger than ever. It's one thing to post your prettiest vacation photos on Facebook or to exaggerate how wonderful your life is for the clear benefit of ex-boyfriend or colleagues rivals, but when it comes to LinkedIn and other professional use of social media, truth and ethics are just important online as they on your printed resume. Love in time of social media. In all of the incarnation and manifestation of social media in our lives, one aspect that can be ignored, particularly when it comes to how we present ourselves and perceive others, also is how the always on must be perfect virtual world has changed our most intimate relationship. Whether you are single 20-something looking for a Mr. or Mrs. Right, or a newly divorced parent dipping on their toes back into the dating scenes, online sites such as Match.com, OkCupid.com, and eHarmony.com have revolutionized the idea of we meet and connect with new people. The fairy tale endings are legendary, as are the tales of love, loss, and heartbreak. But what is one overlooked is how the surreal world of social media affects people who are already in domestic partnership, marriage, and other long-term partnership. Dr. Melody Bacon, as licensed clinical therapist, assistant dean of academic affairs, and chair of the marital and family program at TCSP LA campus says social media and the destruction of technology cause problem for couples because they provide another way to disconnect. To disconnect or not disconnect. Disconnect that Bacon refers to is at the very heart of what Turkey is chronicled in Together Alone. As we instant message, email, text, and Twitter, technology reduces the boundaries between intimacy and solitude, she writes. We talk of getting rid of our emails as though these notes are so much excess baggage. Teenagers avoid making telephone calls. Fearful that they reveal too much, they would rather text than talk. Adults too choose keyboards over the human voice. The irony of it was that we can see it happening to our kids, our friends, even ourselves. We know it's a problem, but we don't know how to stop it. This is the translation from the highlighter paragraph. Saya tentu tidak ingin membawa manfaat dari semua konektivitas ini, tapi harus ada batasannya. Lanjutnya, saya berharap orang-orang mulai menyadari bahwa Facebook dan media sosial tidak bisa menjadi pengganti segala sesuatu dalam hidup mereka. Daripada saya duduk dan baca posting orang lain di Facebook selama 2 jam, saya bisa melakukan beberapa pekerjaan komunitas. Mungkin saya perlu bertanya pada diri sendiri, mengapa saya harus selalu sibuk dengan seseorang yang tidak nyata? Nowadays, more and more people are more concerned with the social media life. There are some who waste time and don't study because they are constantly on social media, but there are some of them who make social media their escape from real life that is heavy and full of stress, and the social media can make them calm even for a moment. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
If you can't be right, yeah, I do the same thing. I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't.